Are you currently constantly feeling guilty at the end of the day? Guilty of not getting enough done? Guilty of being unproductive and feeling unaccomplished at the end of the day? Then this is your video today. Because today I want to share with you 5 reasons why you might be feeling guilty and why you might be feeling unproductive. And of course, I want to share with you a couple of tools as well that you can do in order to feel more accomplished and less guilty at the end of the day. So let's jump in. Hi, my name is Julia Arndt and I'm a peak performance coach and stress management trainer. And today I want to talk with you about why you are feeling guilty. Guilty of being unproductive. Guilty of feeling like you are never getting enough done during the day and then feeling unaccomplished at the end of the day. I have been training a lot of people over the last couple of weeks on COVID-19 related topics, such as, for example, best practices on working from home and how to navigate change and ambiguity during uncertain times. I have a couple of different videos on my YouTube channel as well on these specific topics, so make sure that you're checking them out. I have a video on best practices working from home, a video on how to work from home with kids, and I also have a really cool podcast episode on how to master this crisis, as well as social distancing, isolation, and loneliness. So there's a lot of content out there that I'm sharing with you on a regular basis. So I would really love it if you would make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and also make sure that you hit that bell next to the subscribe button to get notifications every time I am posting new content and new videos, which is every Monday and every Friday. So let's jump into today's topic and let's talk about why are you currently feeling guilty, what are the reasons for that, and what can you of course do to feel more accomplished at the end of the day. First of all, I want to talk with you about a couple of different reasons why you might be feeling unproductive and guilty at the end of the day. Reason number 1, you're working too much. Yes, you might not be agreeing with this one, but I know that you're probably currently constantly connected to your phone, to your laptop, to your desktop. All the time you are now checking your devices. This might be because you're working from home, or maybe you're back at the office and you're watching this video at a later time, but you're just working too much and you are never disconnecting. And so when you are always working, there's of course also always more and more tasks that are added onto your task list. And then it might be feeling like your to-do list just grows and you never catch up. You never get enough done, which might be the reason for you feeling guilty and unproductive at the end of the day. Reason number 2 why you might be feeling guilty right now is because you don't take enough regular breaks. And what is happening then in your system, in your body, is that you are suffering from mental overload, that your body has too many stress hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol floating through your body, and you can't focus anymore because the prefrontal cortex, the front part of your brain, is responsible for all of these important functions that you are performing throughout the day, such as concentration and planning and organization. But your prefrontal cortex at the same time is also responsible for the stress response. And if you are not taking regular breaks, then there's more and more pressure and more stress that accumulates in your body. And so your body is more busy now with the stress response instead of focusing on the things that you actually try to get done. And then what do you feel? You might be feeling impaired in terms of focus and concentration and planning. And you might be sitting in front of an email that usually takes you 15 minutes for an hour. And so that is a very, very good sign that you, my dear, need a break. Reason or sign number 3 why you feel guilty and why you feel unproductive at the end of the day is because you are working all the time. There are no clear boundaries on when you are working and when you are off work. You might be even working during the weekends and in the evenings in order to get all of these things done that you think you need to get done at the end of the day. Reason number 4 why you feel guilty and unproductive is that you have learned from your family and society that it is always good to be busy, right? People that are constantly busy and people that are always working late almost receive a trophy from society or even from family, because it has become this wide known acknowledgement that if you are busy and if you're working late, then that's a good thing. So you might have learned that it is a good thing to always be busy, and when you are not busy, then you feel guilty for not doing anything, right? So it is really important to be cognizant of this fact and to also set back a little bit and tell yourself, hey, maybe I have done a lot, and then also relax and enjoy your off time and be proud of yourself to not always having to do and work. And finally, reason number 5 why you might be feeling unproductive and guilty at the moment is that you don't have clear priorities on what you have to get done throughout the day. So those 5 reasons are all already really good indicators of why you are feeling guilty, and also, of course, things that you need to get better at in order to feel more productive and less guilty and more accomplished at the end of the day. So let's talk about a couple of these kind of tools as well. Number 1, we were talking about you're working too much. Well, for that, I really highly suggest to you that you are starting to be really clear on your work hours. When are you working? When are you off? It is really easy if we don't have a clear transition in our day when we are not commuting and when we're working from home to just work all day long, all the time. At night we can check our emails, we can jump into our office or on our computer and we can answer just this other email, just this one more thing in order to have this little feeling of accomplishment. But it is not healthy for you, because what you do every time when you're working is that you are creating a little bit more stress in your system, because you need adrenaline and cortisol to be functioning. So it is really important that you're setting really clear office or working hours. Number 2, we talked about taking regular breaks and not taking enough of those. At the moment, you feel like you should be constantly working. Maybe there's a lot of things going on in your work life at the moment. And maybe you also see a lot of other colleagues that are working a lot, or they seem like they're working a lot at least, right? So it is really important that you are scheduling regular breaks to recharge. There are some studies that say that the most productive employees, the top 10% of companies, work on average 52 minutes before they take a 17-minute break. And even though that means that those productive employees work on average only 70% of their actual work time and the other 30% they are on work breaks, they have learned that their system needs these regular breaks in order to recharge and in order to re-energize and in order to be able to focus on the tasks that you have at hand. If you are sitting in front of an email and it takes you an hour instead of 15 minutes to respond to it, that is a very, very good sign that you have been working too much and that you are mentally completely overloaded. From prehistoric times, your system has not been set up the way to be always productive. There were hunting times, and then there were relaxation times. And it is really important that you understand that your system just doesn't function that way. And if you are trying to push your system over and over and over again, you will feel at some point physical and mental symptoms that are giving you a signal that you need to slow down. So make sure that it doesn't come to that. Make sure that you are taking regular breaks in order to recharge. Get up from your desk, get a glass of water, walk outside, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Get some fresh air and enjoy yourself and really disconnect. Don't have your phone in your hand while you're enjoying the fresh air. I want you to really fully disconnect and relax your system before you're going back into work mode. Tip number 3 and tool number 3, that is probably the most important one when we are talking about time management and setting boundaries, is that you have to be really clear on what you need to get done. If you have an endless to-do list, if you have an endless list of tasks, then it is very, very hard to feel accomplished and productive at the end of the day. And then those feelings of guilt come up because there's always something else to do. There's always another email email, always another request, always another inquiry that you could get to. And then if you are feeling guilty, that is because you just have too much going on and you're not clear on your priorities. So here's what I invite you to do. I want you to start being really, really clear about your own priorities. On a daily basis, you can do this really simple task that in the morning, before you even start your workday, you sit down and you ask yourself the question, what do I have to get done today in order to feel accomplished? What do I need to do in order to feel good about myself and to have done the tasks that are really important for me? And once you do that, I promise you, you will feel accomplished at the end of the day because, first of all, this is a disclaimer, really important. Of course, you need to set realistic goals. Be clear and realistic with what can you get done in one day. And then once you get that done, finish for the day. This is your list. This was your priority list. And when you have accomplished that, then stop for the day because tomorrow is the next day that you can get work done. And if you are not getting things done, if you start to create daily priorities and at the end of the day you actually haven't been able to accomplish those 2 or 3 things, then either you got too distracted by something else or you were not realistic on what you can actually get done in an 8-hour workday. So that's really good information. And then I would highly suggest to you that you just move that task into the next day. That's totally okay. Don't set yourself up for failure in setting another 2 or 3 daily priorities for the next day, and then you have that other priority from the other day as well. So now you have 4, but it was already unrealistic to get those other things done in the day, and now you think that you need to get all of these other things done. You see where I'm going? It just adds on and adds on and adds on. And so it is important that you are clear on your priorities, that you get them done, and then you sit back and you relax and you almost celebrate that the things that you wanted to get done, you got done. And I promise you with that, you feel more productive because it is really clear on what you need to do. You get it done. And then at the end of the day, you will feel less guilty because you have actually achieved that list of to-dos. Not that list of to-dos, this list of to-dos. So that is really, really important. And I promise you, if you are testing out these 3 things, being clear on your working hours, taking regular breaks, and number 3, setting really clear priorities for the day, you will feel less guilty. And if you don't, then you should ask yourself the question, what did I learn when I was growing up, either from my family or from society, on always doing, always doing. And then when we are creating a little bit more awareness around these things, we can relax a little bit more into that as well. So I hope the information that I shared with you today was helpful. I have a lot of other videos as well that I highly recommend you to check out. I have a video on how to set boundaries, a really, really important topic in the workspace. And also I have a topic on how to navigate in high pressure environments while staying productive and remove distractions. And if you want to learn more about how to manage your time, I have a time management course on my website. It's a 5-day course, email course that you can sign up for free, and you can learn step by step really important tools on how you can start managing your time. Because I truly believe this is one topic that nobody has taught us. Our family hasn't taught us how to manage our time. We haven't learned it in school, and usually we don't also learn it in our companies. But it is a really, really important tool in order to feel more accomplished, less guilty, and more successful at the end of the day. I would be really curious to hear more about what you are doing to feel less guilty and more productive as well. So leave me a comment down below or leave me a question if there's anything else that you want me to get into from a topic perspective. And I promise I will get back to you for sure. So make sure that you are giving me a thumbs up on this video, you're subscribing to the YouTube channel, and I hope to see you next week when I'm talking with you about the next topic on how to manage stress, stay productive in the workspace, and live a wonderful life. Talk to you soon, Julia.